Days like this, I miss working at the shop. It's a long ways down, and it's way steeper than you think. Well, that's why you don't record while you're walking down a hill in the snow. I know I'm not driving right now. I'm waiting for my car to warm up.
I had a class last week and it was amazing. It was integration week, which is really everybody who has been to our class coming back. And you know what I'll say is, oh, well, it is. It's always an amazing week because they're all looking to better their skills. There's a lot more people being on total different paths. It really stretches Mary Bruce, Amber, and my brain a lot. But yeah, it really, yeah, I learned a lot. And I have a custom class this week, so I need to get busy answering these questions. So Chris Cook asked, are you considering adding any additional SCADA classes? And yes, Chris, I am. So if you go to twcontrols.com and then go to PLC training, then here's all of our classes. And if you hit the upcoming classes, then on June 15th through 19th, we're planning a tentative integration week, and I need to check with Amber. One last time. We'll probably open that up this week. And if we actually click into it, Monday and Tuesday of that is that SCADA 101. So when I open it up, that will become available. It does fill up fast, so just don't wait too long to sign up. And along the lines of SCADA, just good comments that came up was actually two people kind of were in on this. I'm not sure which one. Hanan O'Doul and James Wenzel said a good SCADA interface isn't about aesthetics. It's about situational awareness, alarm clarity, and safe decision making. When operators can see the process clearly, incident drops and efficiency improves. What a strong statement. I may have to just snag that one. And I really love Jeremy Pollard's because he's 100% right. I have often said the best HMI SCADA is a blank screen. If things are fine, you don't need to tell them anything. Tell me when things aren't fine. Yeah, no, I'm an idealist at times, alarm. But yeah, well, it really is right. I go to so many screens and there's just way too much information on the screen, and it's like the operator can only look at one thing, and that's the only thing that we should really be highlighting for them. There was some really great conversation going on the motor testing video, and here's where again I learned so much in these. Actually, I was having a conversation with Jimmy Jones. And, I finally asked him, because really a lot of testing a motor is about how does it smell? And I just haven't figured out how to describe to y'all the smell of magic smoke in a video. But yeah, he says for most newbies, I simply describe it as electric smell or plastic burning. Once you smell it, you never forget it. And you're right. I mean, it doesn't even smell like that. But yeah, once it's in your nostrils, you just definitely can't get it out. And Joseph Rhodes, so he really gets the comment of the week, I'll say, because, yeah, here's where, you guys know me. I don't really read the instructions. So we did that motor testing video, and I switched it over to insulation, and I set it on the right item. And as long as you, oops. Why is it not like that? Oh, my battery is low. If you didn't know it, your 1587 FC requires 4 AA batteries, and more importantly, there's where the fuse is. Because a rite of passage for everybody checking a milliamp signal is to put a fuse in it, it seems like. If we switch it over here to insulation mode, I was pressing and holding the button to do the insulation test. Well, Josh Rhodes said press the hold button, and now when you press the insulation test, you don't have to hold your finger on the button. Well, and I guess, then there's where all of a sudden, some of the other items become more useful. Because I kind of said I didn't really see the need for this if you got to hold your finger on it the whole time. Well, knowing that, then this lead becomes a little more useful. Because one, you can pop the tip of this one off, and I could pop an alligator lead on, and now I could clip something. Make sure it's not in your hand, though. But at that point, I need to do a test. I can press the remote button. Oh, oh, well, I got to hit the lock button again. Then I can press it. And yeah, okay, at that point, yeah, that's a pretty cool tool. Thanks for the tip. Let's see. Legend of Isaac asks, will the keyhole nibbler from Greenlee that I did a video on last week, will it work with stainless steel panels? No. No, I have used mine on stainless steel panels, and really quickly I realized, oh, that's that one. Just drilling in the stainless steel panel was total misery. But on top of that, it was flexing it really bad. And shortly after that, I started getting them laser cut. And we had industrial networking and communications. First of all, Alicia Lomez left her SIM IPE at home and had to use boot P. Alicia, how dare you leave your SIM IPE at home? There were also quite a few comments. Last week, I put out a video about read messages versus write messages, and that caused enough discussion. I'll probably do a follow up video if I can get this training, this custom training for this week worked out. Then I'll try to maybe do it early this week. But I think we got into a lot of conversations about error handling with message instructions. Now, I had to break a couple of y'all's hearts. There was a video about messaging between a MicroLogix and a Compact Logix PLC. And a lot of you said that's why we use produced and consumed tags. Folks, you can't do produced and consumed tags to a MicroLogix. I'm sorry. The other comical one, though, and here's where anytime someone starts putting their years of experience in their comments, I just know there's no need even to have a conversation. And 3 of you did it, but a lot of you were saying, well, but if we were using Compact or ControlLogix, we 100% should be using produced and consumed tags and packaging that all up. Well, no, we have explicit message, which is that messaging instructions, and we have implicit, which is that produced and consumed tags, and both still serve a purpose. And here's where, I don't feel like these are really the videos I should be getting into, but maybe they are. Maybe it is. Maybe we are getting there. But I never forget Josh Vargas. He rode me hard to start with. Josh Vargas is like the networking whiz when it comes to industrial networking. And he rode me so hard about, Tim, can we get rid of all these unmanaged switches? Could you actually help with that? And so, yeah, we did a lot on, managed versus unmanaged switches. But then, I was talking to him one day, he said, so let's talk about some of these produced and consumed tags. If that tag doesn't change but once a week, do we really need to send it every 20 milliseconds? And he was 100% right. And, it was funny. A lot of you were like, yeah, we package everything into this large produced consumed tag and just lob it across the network. And I think that was okay when we just had a few items on our network. But as our networks are growing, it's getting to the point we've really got to do a better job at one, segmenting our traffic, but also thinking about, okay, if that value is not changing but once a day, does it really need to go across every 20 milliseconds? But anyway, I may do one on produced and consumed versus, not even versus, that's a bad way to put it, but on the purpose of both, to help y'all realize, no, you probably on the same PLC need to have produced and consumed and explicit messages going across, or SIP reads and writes, maybe writes. And Billy R611 asks, is there a Discord or somewhere that there's a community that you can ask PLC questions? No, there is not. We did open a YouTube community up for a short time. And the reason I took it back down was I found that the YouTube notification system on the back end didn't work that reliably. So all of a sudden, I would be looking, and there might be a question that it came in like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, all right, well, I'd rather have nothing there than somebody expecting an answer. So at least for now, I took that down. The easiest way is to find a relevant video and ask the question, or if you're watching this one, feel free to drop it in and I'll put it on the list. Now, Jeff Rapogel is working on a 5th generation tan crusher. And I got to admit, I was really impressed. One, great drawings there, great imaginary effort. I'm just going to speed through this a little bit. Whoops, if I can even hit the mouse. But I mean, a great documentation of the students really working through and building this can crusher. But yeah, he's working on a fifth generation one. And yeah, he's thinking that he may add a one of our trainers to it and a Pegasus robot controller. And I love that. I love that, we're not just, kind of going with a dry presentation. There's a lot of you out there doing this. And, honestly, I kind of debate on doing almost a road show of creative school. Oh, yeah. Off the cuff. I can't think of a great title for it, but really kind of a roadshow highlighting some of the schools that are just doing very creative exercises to get the students engaged and helping them understand the why of what they're doing. See, just scrubbing through some other comment. Oh, here's John Claffey. Tim Wilborne, that driveway is still 470 foot of white knuckle roller coaster ride. Yeah, John accidentally came to our house one day instead of to the training center, and yeah, he really quickly learned that that was not a place to just go as an amateur with a truck trying to turn around. Speaking of Josh Vargas, earlier this week, I was bragging on his wall, and then I was saying, I had something coming, and he asked if I bought a retro encabulator. I did not, but we have a really cool trainer in the works, and I think I'm going to record building that one out. Oh, and speaking of trainers, here's a cool accessory Michael's been working on. We hopefully, if Michael gets done, and probably will this week, we will have a pick and place pneumatic system, kind of integrating it with our existing linear actuator. That way you can at least move some parts around. But yeah, it'll have three different types or the three most common types of solenoids on it. We'll talk about flow control and really cool. I think about having it set up where we can really do some energy monitoring and kind of start selling, well, not even selling. Well, yeah, I guess we are selling our bosses on, one, doing energy monitoring, also making a baseline before we make changes. That way we can say, hey, look, we just saved you $10,000 a week. Anyway, I've got to get working on this training for the end of this week, and I hope you have an awesome week. See ya.